Hi, this video is being presented by the Clements Law Group. We're located in downtown Decatur. Our phone number is 404-212-1928. This video will be narrated by me, Kirby Clements Jr., attorney at law. The topic is your rights against debt collectors. In particular, we'll be discussing briefly the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. As we get started, let me tell you about myself. I'm Kirby Clements. That's my photo right there. I'm a former prosecutor in Georgia and in New York. I do criminal defense and consumer law. I sue collection agencies, and I defend people who've been sued by collection agencies. I've also appeared on Nancy Grace, Montel Williams, CNN, HLN, MSNBC, and other television shows as a guest legal expert. As we get started, let's talk about how collections work. You have a debt with a credit card company, for example, and it goes into default. First, they'll try to collect it in-house. If they're unable to collect that debt from you, the debt is charged off. That does not mean you've been discharged. Doesn't mean you don't owe the money. It's just off of their books. The debt is then sold to a debt buyer. These debt buyers pay pennies on the dollar, and they then come after you for the full amount. Once these debt buyers collect your debts, they'll then start making phone calls and sending you out collection letters. They'll start making settlement offers, but remember, they only paid pennies on the dollar for this debt. They'll even start threatening you with lawsuits. They may even file a lawsuit, and if you don't respond, they'll collect on that lawsuit plus interest and attorney's fees. But many times when they collect those debts, they violate the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, the FDCPA. Let's talk about that. The Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, which is abbreviated FDCPA, is a law that was enacted by Congress in the 1970s. Congress found that abusive debt collection practices contributed to the number of personal bankruptcies, to marital instability, to the loss of jobs, and to invasions of individual privacy. If you've ever been the victim of unfair or abusive debt collection calls, you understand exactly what Congress was talking about. These calls can make your life miserable. When does the FDCPA apply? It applies when you have a debt collector who is not the original creditor, but a third party, like a collection agency or a lawyer, who is collecting from an individual consumer, that's you, and they're collecting a consumer debt, a debt for personal, family, or household purposes, and they violate the act by engaging in an abusive or unfair action or telling you things that are untrue. If you felt like you've been violated, if it felt wrong, it probably was. Now, there are a number of violations of the FDCPA. I've listed some of the common ones that you see right here on the screen before you, but this is not an exclusive list. The list is really almost endless. They call your job when they know you can't receive calls at work. If they threaten you with arrest or prosecution. If they disclose your debt to third parties. All of these are violations. If it is abusive, unfair, or untrue, it is a violation. When collectors violate the FDCPA, you can receive monetary damages. You can receive up to $1,000 for statutory damages, and you can receive actual damages, and they have no cap. If you've incurred medical bills or an invasion of privacy or any other claim like that, there's no limit on how much you can receive. They also have to pay attorney's fees, and they also have to pay court costs. Imagine that. For their violation, they have to pay your lawyer. The way to build a case against an abusive collector is as follows. Keep everything they send you. If it's voicemails, letters, faxes, or emails, or whatever, keep that. Also make a log when they call you. Note the date and time that they called, the number they called from, who called you, that is the name of the company and the name of the person, what they said. Be very specific. Write down verbatim what they say, and write down how it made you feel. This is how we prove these cases. Well, thank you for listening to my brief presentation of the FDCPA. To learn more, visit us online at CLEMENTSLawGroup.com. You can also like us on Facebook. Learn your rights. Our website has valuable information, and you can also go to the Federal Trade Commission's website. You have to fight back against these abusive collectors. Even if you owe the money, they have no right to violate federal law. You can call us at 404-212-1928. Thank you.